Hello, hello, and good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is May the 20th. Today's my niece's birthday. Happy birthday, Isis. She is the oldest of all of the girls in my niece and my daughter's, the cousins area. So, excited for her. And she's a teenager today. Oh, I feel
Yay.
like I'm so old. I'm getting old. No, wiser. That's
Yep.
been the word of the day. I'm wiser. Um, so welcome everyone. Hello. Thank you all for joining, coming in on today. Today we are going to be talking about some really yummy stuff. I think we always talk about some yummy stuff. But just being present and being thankful for another day and being able to wake up, new beginnings, experience the showers of life, the good showers. I think all showers to me are good because either you're showering to release or showering to receive. So um, I am appreciative of both. So welcome. Today we're going to be talking about from connections to conversations, personalizing your brand's identity. And I'm excited to share with you all. We've done something very similar to this before, and so I'm excited to see how people have grown from our last session. I think was maybe 2 or 3 years ago. So welcome and good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, those who are in the room. Hello, Adam. Hello, Asia. Hello, Cassandra. Hello, Chris. How you doing?
Peace and blessings, Athenia. How you doing this morning?
I am blessed and highly favored, and I am living the dream.
I heard that.
Blessings, Athenia.
Hello, hello. Mickey, Adam, you're not out and about. You're not on the streets.
Gotta get it in just early in the morning, Athenia.
Got it. Got it. Oh, I see. Is that a what is it? Like a bodysuit that you're wearing? Oh,
It's my rain jacket on my shoulder.
got it. Okay. Well, thank you for always joining us as you are starting your day off. So I really appreciate that for sure.
Yeah, you're welcome, and you too.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone. So we are going to get started. If you have not already, please get some water, some libations, and also a book and a pen. I hope that we'll be able to get some really good notes in so that you can walk away from this session really inspired and to see things from a different lens. So I look forward to serving you.
Alrighty.
Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. It's time to get up. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. It's time to get up. We're healing, we're dealing, we're growing. Together, releasing. We're teaching, we're moving. Together, we're learning, discerning. We're striving. Together. together, together we're leading, connecting, transforming, together, together.
All right, all right, all right. So good morning again, everyone. Welcome to Wake Up Everybody. My name is Athenia Rodney. I'm the CEO and founder of Juneteenth NYC. I am also your marketing and automation coach and serial entrepreneur that I love, and all of my businesses have continued to grow into its own babies. Those are I guess, my second children. I was sharing earlier that my middle son graduated on yesterday. So just seeing the birth of going from stage to stage. So he's going to middle school. So a new venture for him and for the family, right? Because we go through it together. And so today, I just wanted to thank you all again for showing up and being your best selves. I want to get the energy flowing. So in the chat, let me know, are you a coffee, tea, or just a vibes kind of morning person? So what do you do in the morning? Are you I need to get my morning brew, or are you the tea person? Like I gotta have something warm in my stomach before I get going, or just put some music on and vibe out kind of person? So what kind of gets your day going? If you can put that in the chat, and we can go to the next slide to get this session going. I definitely want to hear from y'all. So, some shares in the chat.
You reading or I'm reading?
I can read if I, uh-oh. Well, maybe we need to read. I know what just happened.
Or something happened. All right. What I said, let me start with Chris. So cucumber water for Chris. I said I'm a tea person, but that doesn't mean I drink that in the morning. I'm about vibes. So it could be music, could be watching a video to open the morning or being here with all of you. It just depends on how I wake up and how I feel. And Athena, can you mute?
Oh,
Yeah, our devices are having a little battle. Sierra said gallons of coffee, gallons. Kaisha said congratulations to you all. I'm a tea person. Asia said water, tea, afternoon coffee, and welcome, Marilyn. Grand rising to you. And she says grand rising to the royal family. Ashe.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you. Hilarious. I love that. Gallons of coffee, Sarah. It's someone in Asia drinking coffee in evening. Okay, interesting. Usually a little flip-flop there. So I love it. So thank you for indulging. We're going to be interactive. As you know, I love to hear your voice in the space, in the chat. So feel free to come off mute anytime we have any questions. So our next question, we're going to be talking about connections and how we show up, or how we're engaging with our experiences around us. So we're going to start off with customer service. We have all experienced some form of customer service in our life. If we leave our house, we are experiencing customer service. So I want you to think about a situation or an experience where you experienced bad customer service, where the customer service was not very good, where you did not enjoy what you were experiencing. I want you to think about, how was the tone of the individual? How was the engagement in this space? Think about all of the things that kind of bring in what an experience is for you. Was it lack of empathy? Was it a robotic reply? Like, what made it a bad experience for you? And I'll share to start off while you're thinking about an idea. So I feel like I always get a challenged experience, and no slight to anyone who may be of Caribbean descent, because I am as well, right? But when I go into Jamaican restaurants in particular, I feel like the tone is just off. For me. I'll go in and I'll be like, good day, and I'll get the nod or hey or kind of thing, and it's almost like I'm bothering them. I'm like, can I get? And they're like, what do you want? And I'm like, no kind of like pleasantries, no kind of like glad to have you. I'm glad you came. Like, if you didn't walk in the store, I probably wouldn't be getting a paycheck at the end of this week. Like, that's the intent that I guess I'm looking for. And sometimes, and a couple of times, I definitely have walked out because I'm like, you know what? I don't need this energy in my life. I need something. And especially if you're going to be pouring food for me to be able to ingest. I don't want to continue to carry that negativity or that energy with me in my spaces. So it definitely depends on where I am or how bad I really want some Caribbean food. But that has been one of the things that kind of always sticks out to me. And because of that, I feel like I'm always in a space of like, attitude of gratitude or sometimes like if I go in that space I know that that's what I'm going to expect, so I'll be like extra chipper and I'm like, hey, how y'all doing today, like how was your week, how is it, trying to get them engaged. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. I would love to hear others. Anyone have a story that they would like to share?
All right, let's see if anything is in the chat. There's nothing but loves and smiles, but Asia has her hand up to share.
Yeah, sure. Peace, everyone, once again. I'll share this one because it's been on my heart for the last week. And I thank you, Athenia, for this space. This is good to share. I go into a massage. I absolutely, LOVE, love our Asian ancestors that give great illegal massages because they get into places the way that us Americans have not been trained to get into. And I had the best massage I've ever had. Finally, after 3 years, my back pain is releasing and releasing and releasing finally. And so this lady really got it. Didn't speak very good English at all. I go in for the massage. It was the best one. And then she invites in a colleague to help her put some patches on my back. And as I'm laying on my stomach, they stretch my collar back to put these patches on my neck. And I'm like, what are y'all doing after the massage? So now it's like they're choking me. And I'm like, I'm all relaxed and stuff. But now, so they put the patches on my back. And then when they're done, her colleague removes the cover from my back. And then my butt got cold. I was like, what happened? They didn't even say anything. And I'm like, well, she checking me out. I felt because she removed the cover. She's like, oh. And then they just walk out. So, I was so upset. But that's my customer experience story. Great massage, but like lack of customer service because of the communication. And I felt like I've been violated and choked. Thank you.
Oh my geez. Well, I'm glad that you got to get that out. And I'm sorry you went through that. Oh my gosh. I can totally relate, especially to massages and it not being. I went to a massage place and they were like talking the whole entire time, and I was like, I just want to get a massage. Like, I don't want to have a conversation right now. So the etiquette around things. So, there are cultural differences that I'm hearing that you just shared, and I shared as well as far as the cultural difference. Although I have Caribbean background, it's still I'm American born, right? So there's still cultural differences that show up in that space. So just thinking about that when you for your business as well, and when you're looking at how you want people to experience you, are you thinking about those moments um, where there may be a cultural divide, right? And thinking about on the flip side, like what has been good customer service for you? And on the flip side of that has been when it has been when they are doing things without me even expecting it, right? When there's the go to the restaurant and you sit down and you don't even have to ask for water and they're bringing it and bringing the appetizer or breads. They are bringing the condiments to the table. They know that you need a knife. They know you need syrup, like whatever it is. Um, they are in that space before you. So just thinking about both sides of the story and what that looks like. So next slide, please.
All right, let me see something really quickly. Sierra said had to call the New York City Health and Hospitals appointment line for a customer at work. And woo, the person on the line made it seem like we ruined their whole year just by calling, was rude, dismissive, and impatient to the customer who had an interpreter. Wow. Thank
Mm, thank you for sharing it, Sierra. Yeah, I know that's another thing, phone etiquette,
you.
what that looks like, and just being on issues with yeah, that is a whole nother story because I can give you millions of stories, especially as of recently, trying to get with things. So, why personalization matters? Why does it matter to personalize what you are doing? We are, if you think about your business, if you think about who you are as a business owner or a business entity, you are a business in a crowded marketplace. And I always say it's like going to the mall. When you go to the mall on like what they call it, Black Friday. Is Black Friday after Thanksgiving? I have never really gone. I have driven by, but I can only imagine. I've seen pictures, I've seen videos. I never want to experience the Black Friday kind of experience thing, but that's what I envision when I think of our business and being in a marketplace. There's a lot of people are going in and coming out, and people are experiencing their own woes and what they have going on in their life. There are some authentic connections, and then there are different challenges of what can be, right, for how you are set apart. And you got people in the mall and they got signs and they waving. You got people who are standing there with samples to give you to try out their products. You got people who are showing that they have a sale or something like that, or they're yelling, or they're and then you have people who are just not even present in that space at all, who have done their promotions maybe beforehand, and people just know what they're going to when they get there. So personalization matters in a crowded marketplace because people want to know that you are talking to them. So I would love to hear, how do you currently build connections in your business? How do you connect to your customers? Are there specific things that you do? Are there ways that you show up? Are there signs that that you have that you're blazing from the skies? Is there a conversation that you may have? Is it your personality? What is it that stands out about you? What makes you different from the fold? And I'll share my own personal for what or how I feel like I show up and personalize things. So for my customers, it is about listening to the attention to detail, especially since I do event planning, right? So people I already feel have an expectation when they come into my space about what I know. And especially if I'm saying I have 25 years of experience doing this, right? So people are like, okay, great. So you have understanding. They're looking for that. I call it Black glove service because it's service with a cultural twist. So that's Black glove service. So they're looking for that Black glove service, right? That concierge space where they are getting things. So that's what we do. I put things in place where I have team members who are making phone calls. It's not just about the email. It's not just about a text, but it's also about the picking up the phone and saying hello. And that's not something that people are used to these days. And then some, especially some of my wiser individuals or customers, they expect it. They are like, oh, I'm not about this technology stuff. Pick up the phone and call me. So that is where it is always showing up for me in my space that it's like, yep, I'm going to pick up the phone when the first two modes of communication are not working. So, how do you currently build connections in your business? Any
Chris,
hands in chat? Sure. Hey, Chris.
Yeah. Grand Rising, everybody. Grand Rising, Athenia.
Grand Rising. Hello.
Good, good. I want to congratulate you on your son's graduation. Definitely, that is a big one. Middle school, definitely, definitely. I've never myself had the opportunity to be in my children's graduation in that sense, but I'm glad to see, when it's out there happening. I need to see it sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Um, I want to say that the way I promote my business is it only works if I show up in person. Is what I'm noticing. Like my thing is, my business comes from EMS. It's actually the reason why I do a lot of things. Is I want to see more birthing people showing up to their son's graduation and things like that. So what I do is when there's events, I will show up to the people that I represent on my newspaper. Because my thing is my birthing center. I'm here to build my birthing center. Last week I took all the notes, so and my little league soccer team. So I show up to all these names. I keep up with them. It's not just about putting it down and then continuing. And in my birthing center, we will have our own newspaper also. So we will be keeping up numbers. And everybody will have a voice. And you can just come and be a columnist if you want to have your own for that month and everything like that. But I have to show up in person. Remember last week, I somehow made connections with the car community. I know nothing about that. I just know how to turn it on, but we'll see. And then things is happening out there. So that's social media for me is not really a thing. I was raised by the lost generation, and I did not have a television for maybe like maybe like 2-3 years ago when they told me, yo, kids need TV. So I said, all right, I got a couple of them, so let me get a TV. If not, I would not realistically have a TV. So I'm getting used to that also, but in person, you gotta go outside, and I am complete.
I love it. Thanks, Chris. So I'm hearing that face-to-face time is definitely, and especially in a space where people need to be able to trust, especially so deeply, like that's being in person for birth and center, and even for your games as well is going to be you showing up, you being present in the space, you letting them know that you care with your presence, and but just thinking about that also, right? What does it look like when you're not able to show up in that space? So when you're not able to do the thing that you typically do, what are you able to put in place so that they still receive the same level of care, that they still receive the same level of customer service and personalization that you would like them to have? So I encourage you to think about that as well, Chris. Any other thoughts or comments in the chat before we go on?
I just acknowledged Asia, um, and their preference for face to face, and that they send birthday cards to their customers, which I love that personal touch. It's not my jam. Like, I'm not the person that would do that, but I love when folks, I receive cards or like personal written notes. I think that's such a powerful thing, especially during these times. And then Asia said, congratulations on, on the TV, Chris. And Kaisha said, realtors are good at personalization.
Yeah, realtors can be. I've experienced where they have not. So, but the idea of personalizing your connection, and I love, yes, that is especially in a world where everything is automated and computerized and technology driven. Taking the moment to send a handwritten note is always, I keep those. I have a box that is just for them. And I remember when my grandmother passed, a couple of years ago. Let's say Madison is not 8, she'll be 9. So it was almost 9 years ago when she passed away, and we had to go through all of her stuff afterwards. And she had all of these notes and all of these cards of like when we were young and we did. And it was so funny because on holidays, she would come out for like Christmas and she would package something. She would she would gift us back something that we gave to her when we were younger. And I'm like, why do you still have this? One time she gave my father his booties. She still had his booties. And so just thinking about that kind of personalization, like being able to remember to take people back, especially when you've had a relationship with people for a long period of time, and helping them to or reminding them of scenarios and situations. So thinking about how you can bring that into your experience as a business owner as well. I have customers that I've done their first birthday party, and I've also done their wedding for the same child. And I'm like, I've been in business a long time to be in both spaces. So just thinking about and being able to have that connection and talk about all of the different things and how that lineage has happened for them helps them feel connected. Now they're like, I don't want to go to anybody else because they don't have the same level of connection that we do. You know me, you know what I like. I don't have to go through and tell you all of the different things that I expect from. And we've built that relationship. So just thinking again about what personalization and how that shows up for you in your business. So next slide, please. So we're going to talk about,
Uh-oh.
we have.
There you go.
Okay, there we go. The benefits of brand personalization. When you make your brand more personal, you basically get to build trust. Like I shared, you are showing them that you are loyal and they're showing that they're loyal to you, right? There's a reciprocity that shows up in that space. You are more able to get referrals and repeat business during that time because that is where when someone feels like they trust you, they're like, oh, I don't mind sharing a connection to somebody that I know. So, for example, this past week, it was one of those. I am preparing for Juneteenth, right? And all things that can go wrong typically do. And so I had someone refer a business to me for our stage. And I was like, they gave us a great deal. We, set the contract and we're in communication constantly. And then all of a sudden the person sends me a message and says, oh, I'm not going to be able to do your event again. And I'm like, huh? So this was like my Friday night. It totally blew my whole Friday. And I was like, well, what do you mean? And no response. So what was the first thing I did? I went to the person that referred me. I was like, the person you referred me is showing up as untrustworthy and is this and is that. And she felt the need to have to jump in. And the expectation was that she was going to jump in because this was your friend. This was a person that you referred. You spoke so highly of this person. And so she went back and had conversation. And then we Saturday morning, we ended up having a back and forth in text. But he was going to ghost me. Like he wasn't going to say nothing. He was just going to do what he did, say what he said, and just keep it moving. But because I had that relationship with someone, I was able to get a response on why. We're still going back and forth and dealing with that situation, but just thinking about, that in itself, right? Is the person that I am going to refer, are they going to show up? Or are they going to embarrass me? And I always tell my kids this, right? You can't control nobody but you. And that is true. You can't control anyone but yourself. But people expect the relationship that you have because you're a trustworthy, because you're a reliable person, because you are a person that speaks highly of individuals, that the person that you're going to refer me is also going to be in the same likeness. They say, what, birds of a feather flock together? So that's what people are expecting in your relationship. So just thinking about that. And that's why people are so hesitant as well to be able to refer others because they're like, oh, well, I don't know. And I always tell people this relationship is not indicative of who I am. Or I always tell people if I know that there are certain things about the person, like I referred a bouncy castle company to a friend, and I know that whenever they do deliveries, they're not very transparent in their pricing. And I share that with her. I said, make sure that you get all the pricing up front because they usually will charge you. They'll come and they'll be like, oh, you got two stairs. We're going to charge you $50 for the two stairs. And sure enough, what was said, what was done. And she was like, at least I expected it. I knew. So her experience was a good one because she knew that that was coming. So just thinking about what that looks like for you. And it helps people to remember you when you have a good personalization, when you have a good brand that people can bank on. They bank on the fact that you're going to come through in a clutch, that even if you say that you're going to do one thing, that you're also going to fix it, or that you're going to tell me the truth, like I just said, right? You're going to tell me what it is, what to expect, that it's not going to be all peaches and cream, and that it's not going to be the 5 star that I might expect. But this is a person who's going to get the job done at a price that I could afford. So, any comments, questions, thoughts about benefits? Are there other benefits that you've experienced about personalizing your brand?
Um, Professor Marilyn said uh, her CRM sends out birthday and holiday greetings that she follows up with by making a call the weekday after, especially her elder clients.
I
Um,
like that.
I'll
That's
jump in.
sure.
You know, I have a lot going on. And one of the ways that I can do something that allows me to maintain my energy and just based on my bandwidth is I'm a voice note sender. So, with Spirit of a Woman and the Aria Foundation, I'm more likely to send someone a voice note saying that I'm thinking about them, checking on them, remembering details about something that they told me, no matter how far back it goes, just asking about family or about an endeavor or an event. Or if we're in a season that's similar, like Black Internal Health Week, I'll check in about that and see what they're up to. And folks, even though it's natural for me to do that, folks are like blown away. And then they often will say, it's like, you're so busy, but you sent this message. Um, so I love doing that. That once again, it's natural, it's not forced, because for me, Athenia, sometimes people have personalization and I can feel the inauthenticity inside of the personalized way that they are. I don't know if what I'm saying is clear. Um, but sometimes it's performative. Like when I'm engaging with people in person and it's like a script, I have a reaction to that because I'd rather you just keep it cordial and businesslike than pretend like you're interested in me or how I'm doing or be saying things that sound like it's plastic, like one dimensional, and I'm complete.
Oh, you just said a whole lot there. Juicy stuff. Yes. And that's one thing I definitely appreciate about you, Shawnee, because yes, I feel the same. And it is something that you have modeled that I try to pick up as well. And I'm like, Lord, um everything going on, a million fires, plates burning everywhere, and you'll be like, send a detailed voice note or message. And I'm just like, how do you even have capacity? But I definitely feel special. I feel seen. I feel heard in those moments. And so I commend you because you do an amazing job with that. And it is, like I said, admirable and something that I look forward to trying um, to emulate as well. And to your point with the rote, yes, I agree. When there is a rote message or response, and that's how I guess for me, I will say um, how you know that there is more of a connection because I'll take the time to actually engage with you. There are others who I feel like they're time leechers, and they just want to take up the energy. And I'm like, and I've had to say sometimes too, like, hey, I'm really busy and I know, and I don't want this to reflect how I want to engage with you. But if this is not related to Juneteenth or not related to my kids' graduation, like whatever is pressing in the moment right now, and that's a way that I guess I've been able to build boundaries around things because that is also showing people how you relate, like as part of your brand as well. Because if you're constantly in a space where you're just like, yeah, I can do it, yeah, I can do it, and not really letting people know what's going on in your life, that also plays into it. Because life is not 100 for everybody, for anybody, right? Life is going to be lifing. And how do you share that life is lifing in the moment for you in these times of trying to personalize your relationship and not make people feel kind of standoffish or like you are dismissive in that space as well. So also thinking about what that looks like, because boundaries and we're constantly being taught in how to understand how to share boundaries, so that we are not being drained. And I took a personality test maybe 2 weeks ago. And one of the things that I learned about myself is that I put a lot of energy into my work. And so I need 5 minutes to just sit by myself, and be with nothing and nobody, no music, no phone, like just sit still. And it's funny because being in Be the Tree and being in all of these different things, that's always been something that's been taught to us. Like, oh, let's do a grounding before we start, and so on and so forth. And it wasn't until I read like that's something that I personally need to be able to be whole, and to be re-energized in myself that I'm like, okay, I need to go find a corner somewhere away from everyone, just so that I can be. So thinking about what that is for yourself as well. Any comments before we move on to the next slide?
Okay, I don't see any other shares in the chat, so let me move the slide forward.
Awesome. So integrating personalization into your brand, what does that look like? So there are four different ways that you can do that. So one is align with your values. Let people feel what matters to you, right? So I just talked about that, right? Like my kids' graduation was yesterday. I was getting text messages, emails, all kinds of things, even though I had message autoresponders on that I am not going to be available today. It was still like, Athenia, I need this right now, or can you respond? And I was like, yeah, no. I'm focusing on family today. So again, how are you putting that in place? How are you having your brand align with your values? And even helping others to set that up as well. I recently had a staff member that we parted ways. And that was because she didn't relinquish her own boundaries. We were in a meeting and she was distant, and I'm like, what's going on? She's usually taking notes for our meetings. And I'm like, did you take the notes? And she's like, oh, I'm not. I forgot. And I'm like, you forgot? Like, that's your role. Like, what do you mean you forgot? And 2 days later, I'm like, hey, like, can we talk? Like, what's going on? And then she's like, oh, well, during the time that we were having a meeting, my family's house was on fire. I'm like, girl, why you didn't tell me that? Like, I want to release you, go take care of your family. Like, that's not like why are you holding on? And she's like, oh, because I didn't want to not show up. I said, well, but you were present, but you weren't showing up. So being able to voice what your concern is, in the moment so that we can talk about how we can support you. I said, if you don't say something, nobody can help you. Um, and we ended up making the decision that it was best for her to take care of her family because I was like, you have to be present for your family first. and figure out on the back end how you can manage other things. But just thinking about what that is. So how does your brand align with your values? For me, it's about family. So I'm always encouraging others to take care of their family and figure out the time on where you can place your work hours. Next is social media for and being real. We were just talking about, right? Social media is a space where people will just show their highs. People are very rarely showing their lows. They're really, really talking about the times in which they were challenged in life. And I try to offer that in my social media pages often. Like, yeah, life is life, and this is happening. This is because a lot of people see the end result. The end result of Juneteenth looks fabulous. It looks great, but all of the year and going through the different ups and downs and the challenges, and I share that with my board. I'm like, hey, look, as soon as that happened with the situation with the stage, I was like, hey, like I'm not okay right now, guys. Like pray for me, like check in, tap in, whatever it is that you need to do. I need y'all to be present because this is what's going on right now. And people did. They sent me voice notes. They sent me messages, all kinds of things. It was like, oh, we're praying. Like this is crazy. And so having your voice be seen in social media, not always just as a high vibrational space, but also sharing your woes and your growths so that people can learn from them as well. People want to see the process when it comes to your brand. They don't want to see the perfection. They want to see that, oh, I started my balloon business by me just watching a YouTube video and putting it together, and it looked like crap. And then they saw that I took some classes and some workshops and some trainings and I got some certificates. And then now I'm like, look at it. Oh, it looks much better. I got more techniques. And then I've been, doing this. I got this challenge. I had this issue because I thought something and it was something else. So being able to share your journey throughout that process is also going to help people to connect to you. I am literally in Georgia. I get out of my car going to my son's high school the other day, and somebody's like, "Your mom's your events," and I'm like, "Who knows me in Georgia?" And literally, someone out here who's connected to someone in New York City, she's like, I follow you. And I knew that you lived out here. I didn't know that your son went to this school, but I just wanted to say I love your work and thank you for always sharing and telling your story and this, that. And I was sitting there and I sat in the car and I cried because I was like, oh my God, you don't know what your story is doing for others. You don't know how you are helping somebody else in their journey by sharing what you are going through. It makes that point, let your light shine so that others may shine also. That hones that point in for me. So use social media as that be real talk, like really just share who you are in a professional way, of course. This is not the space to get on and be harping about boom poo and what they did and didn't do for to you. But it is a space to show your growing space. Create tailored content, speak to different audiences with relevance, right? So I've talked in the past about bank, which is your blueprint, individuals speaking to them in a blueprint, like people who like to have the whole story. They want to know what the schematics, they want to know the skeletons of what's going to happen, like what's their plan. The action people who are like, I need to know, like, just tell me the top level stuff so that I can sign up because I want to do this. It sounds great. You're nurturing people. How are you helping the community and speaking to those individuals? And then the knowledge people, what's the percentage of who's going to be affected by this? What are the numbers? What are the data? Those are the four different types of personalities that we kind of curtail our content to so that we're speaking to those different types of individuals. And then lastly, And this is what I consider to be very important because what we have in our mind is not always what is received on the other end. So use customer feedback. What are you doing to create spaces where you're getting feedback from your customers? And it doesn't always have to be a survey. Like people are like, oh, I hate filling out surveys. I don't have the time. And a lot of us in true reality, we don't have the time to fill out a survey. So if people don't have time to fill out survey, how else can you get feedback from individuals? People, I will tell you, people like to talk. So if you can get somebody in front of a camera or in front of a phone, we have all of these $1,000 devices that we walk around with all the time. Be able to just ask them and just be like, "Hey, how did that go? Like, what did you think? Like, what was your experience? Was there anything that you didn't like as you're walking, as we're cleaning up, as we're putting things away?" Um, Yesterday and I've also been the conduit of being able to share that information to others as well. Like I said, yesterday I had my son's graduation. I'm one of the PTA moms, so I do what I do and I show up wholeheartedly, right? So we did balloons, we did a photo booth, we had everything going on there, and graduation was over. It was amazing. And we came down, the principal was like, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much for everything. I really appreciate it." And my response to him was like, "Thank you for saying this to me, but you could have said that on the stage. You could have thanked us for all of the work that we did." Because the PTA really, we did this out of our time. And he was like, "Oh my gosh, charges to my head and not my heart." And I was like, "Got you." But this is something that you need to put in place so that in the future that you are thanking the people who are helping. And then when I get home, he sends an email out to all of the people who helped, like his staff, his teachers, and he CC all of us and kind of shared. So it helped him to create a better process for how he thanked individuals in his space. So giving feedback in a moment is definitely a big part of that. So I'll pause here to see if there are any reactions, thoughts, questions about personalizing your brand and how to do that. Mhm.
Right. I don't see hands, but curious about what folks are receiving from the experience because you're sharing so in-depthly and powerfully. So Cassandra, I don't know if you're able to share. Would love to hear from you if you are. Or Evelyn, I haven't heard your voice in a minute. What are y'all receiving from this experience? And I've called your name. You don't have to, but just thinking about people, and also Professor Marilyn, just thinking about people who are in the space who can share and have shared in the past openly and candidly. So anybody, Evelyn, Cassandra, Queen A, I think you said something earlier. Go ahead, Cheryl. Thank you. There you go, love.
Grand Risings, good morning, everyone.
Hey.
So wonderful to see you, and I always enjoy all of the information. Okay, I thought I was muted. All of the information that you provide, Althenia. Like I know I've had one-on-one with her, and we were able to get a lot accomplished in a small amount of time with just giving me ideas and ways to consider and think about my business and which direction to go in. It's just so insightful and helpful. So these are always great to hear, how to capture these different elements because all of it is so an important part, of just your business, just being very personal and being real, all of those things are it's needed, in the business when you're developing relationships with people, to buy from you, whatever you're offering, And when I think about, capturing some of those things, when I was working for this organization and what they did was created like a list of questions. You can answer all of them or some of them or just one thing or, just that, if you want to make it small, like just answer this one question about the business or your experience, just to kind of capture some of those things was ways that I was able to do. But thank you so much, Althea, and complete.
Thank you, Cheryl. And can you share for those who are not aware what your business is and what you do?
And my business goal is a reproductive center. And what was your next question?
Just what your role is with the business.
Okay. So with this reproductive center, I want it to be where it's in a predominantly African American community where the infant mortality rate is high. And the plan is to go into the community, really grassroots to the community, do it right there in that particular area. And there is a building that's been in that community for so long that was a prior like club, and it's just been around and it has there and it's on a nice piece of land. And so when I was on Woo, I heard that with the reparations projects and those things that might be a route that you'll be able to get that property and land to put the reproductive center to have centering classes where moms were, yes, they're around the same gestational age and they take classes and education together. Also, just doing all kinds of educational things and classes related to all the things I've heard on Woo, like speaking up for yourself, reproductive health, just incorporating everything that I've learned in this one space to create that for our moms and babies.
I absolutely love that. Thank you for sharing that, Cheryl. I always like to name it in this space and put it out there because you never know who you are around who might be able to connect to your thoughts and be able to offer. I mean, I saw Chris already hard, so maybe you and Chris connecting since you are definitely in sounds like an alignment. So don't be afraid to share your story in the spaces that you are in. And not just the what you do, but the story behind it. I'm talking about and this is what next week will be about. We're going to be talking about your 1 minute and your 1 minute presentation should share how someone could think about you and offer you as a referral to somebody else. So just understanding what that is and how to be present in that space. So thank you, Cheryl, for modeling that. Awesome. All right. Any other shares, Shawnee?
Not that I see in the chat, so I can move forward with the next slide. All right. Here we go.
Well, Cassandra.
Oh, Cassandra. Okay. Cassandra, go ahead, love.
Grand Rising. So yeah, just around the personalization piece, after we would get donations or new partnerships or whatever, my co-founder, because she's like mid 70s, or like that, and so she would do really nice things like handwritten notes, like you were talking about earlier, handwritten thank you cards, all of this stuff, and she would have it like so fluffy and this that, and all of, and I'm like, can you just at least take some of the fluff out and just like get to the point? Everybody can't, read all of this stuff, and these days people are busy. But I just really think that she and I kind of complemented each other because, I'm not a fluffy person with my words and all this stuff. I take very careful with my words, And so now that she's not able to do these things because she's like a full-time caregiver for her dad, I do really miss those pieces, those personal touches that she had the capacity to do it. Now that it's just me, even if I wanted to do it, I just don't have the capacity to do that. So thank you.
Awesome. I love that share. And I heard action person, you, Cassandra, versus your partner being a community person. So seeing how both of those personalities show up in your business, I love that. And that goes just going back to the point as well, when we create things. Um, how are we making it sustainable? Like, what is it that we can do so that it can be sustained? Or is that just going to be your touch point, right? Is that going to be her touch point? How can you find others who might be able to come in and support to help with that, to create those kind of relationships? Might be the thought. Go ahead. I think you raised your hand again, Cassandra.
Yeah, because even like going into the stores, she would go buy nice thank you cards and stuff. I avoid the stores like the plague. I'm not a store person. Okay. I may get on Amazon or something, but she'll go take the time to, pick out these really nice gifts and things. So I really miss her so much in that aspect.
Yeah. So now you have to identify ways in which you can try to show up for your customers as well, for those who you're serving, and embody her, your partner. So I love that. So thank you. Thank you for that share, Cassandra. Any other shares? I saw a couple of things popping up in the chat. Um,
Yeah. Oh, I was sharing some things with folks. I was saying how, sadly, how we've lost some of the practices that were just definitely part of the generation that is before mine. Like I'm a generation Xer, but like the generation before, the handwritten cards, the how you say thank you and when you say thank you, super important to that generation and that etiquette that's associated with it. And we're in such a fast-paced world where these types of additions, which is considered community engagement, that's definitely an action. Like you mentioned, she's action oriented, but I'm like the writing of the cards and the phone calls or whatever the structure was that elder provided is action. It's community engagement, and we're just not taught to engage in that way. Or for those of us who do it, we're like a lost, and I'm saying we. I don't write handwritten cards, even though I'm a writer. I love that. I just don't have time. I'm like, if I wrote to everybody, I would just do that every day, all day. But they are definitely what they consider old school ways that we could benefit from tapping into. And where Cassandra was saying, ain't nobody have time for, what did she say? There's all the flowery. We don't have time to read all of that. We're busy. I'm just like, dang, you get a card in the mail and we ain't got time to read the card. Damn, like it's like that. So that I get it. Like our attention spans are very, very short. But I also love receiving notes in the mail and having somebody in script. I have a thing about that too, because that's a lost skill or gift. Writing me a note and it's personalized for me. I love that. That's just where I am. But go ahead, Athenia. I just wanted to put that piece in.
No, yeah. And I was saying, and your oratory way of doing things is also another form of that. So again, thinking about, like I said, what else can you put in place in the event that that is not possible? So maybe Cassandra, it might be doing some voice notes as a thank you and sending as a way that you create your personal touch to keep that alive. But yeah, to your point, Shawnee, I have I think two or three cards that I still haven't opened yet. That I just actually took out of my bag and I was like, oh, I haven't read this card. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get to it. I put it in my darkest corner hours of empowerment. So being that's something that I put in place for myself. So I love that.
All
All
right.
right.
You want to go to the next slide?
Yeah, let's
All
jump
right.
in.
And before you jump in, it's 7:57.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's soon to be 7:58. So you can make it is 7:58 now. You can make the announcement and then we can carry on with the slide.
Sure, as we are winding down, and I know some of you will have to jump off for 8 o'clock. We just wanted to thank you for being present in the space, and want love for you to continue to watch the replay and to see the rest. And I heard that we're also going to be putting this on YouTube. So I definitely encourage you to like, share, and follow all of those different spaces. I am offering as a thank you for being present here, which I have been sharing the 30 days for our platform, for our automation platform, and we're actually about to get into some of the details of how they can be used. So I hope that you can stay on, but if not, I definitely encourage you to join us for the special offer to be able to use the platform. So, all right, I think we're good. And if we can put up the slide, I see we have some new. Hey, Rakia. Hey, Kojo. Welcome to the space. All right, some tools and some quick wins. So I definitely would like to challenge you all this week to make a little change in one thing, in how you operate your business, right? It could be update your LinkedIn, or put about me, to create a more personal touch. And I know we're talking about personal touch, but you can always use your AI, your chat GPTs to kind of create, and you can say specifically, help me create a personalized LinkedIn about me. And I would like it to include these things, that I'm this, that I like to do this, that I like, and it will create something to be able to put in, and you can change things as needed. But look at your LinkedIn bio, look at your Instagram page, look at your Facebook page, look at your social media and your website. So all the things that are front facing about your business, I want you to be able to take a look at. Um, and I always say take a picture, like take a thought, right? Like I said, I do balloons when we do our balloon setups. I always stop and I take a picture because I'll be taking pictures and then I'll go and sit down and I look at the pictures and I'm like, oh my gosh, there was a hole right there. I didn't realize that, that balloon, it didn't look good in that space. Because a lot of times what we see with our naked eye, we miss things. But when we take a still, we're able to see where the holes are. So I encourage you to take a picture of each of those spaces. Go in with the intention of what do I need to change to make myself more personable in these social spaces, so that you can be the brand that you want people to see you as, instead of how you are just showing up. I hope that makes sense. Next, follow and engage with one founder or media platform that you admire. Always encourage you to follow me. You can follow me at Coach Athenia Rodney. You can follow my Juneteenth NY page. Those are two different brand styles that I have. One is really about a coaching and teaching space. The other is more about highlighting the culture of the African American experience and all things that surround it, including our event and how we are highlighting our culture in that space on that particular week. So think about that for yourself. Who is it that you could engage with? Who could you follow that might be a good person to, that you want to emulate, that you want to be like, that has a persona that is an online persona that you also want to emulate? Because some people, I don't follow them in on any other things, but I'll follow them on their social media platform because their social media content is so rich, and it gives me a lot to work with. Next, sign up for local networking events. I can't tell you how beneficial being a part of networking events has been for me. Like I said, I'm from New York City. I moved to Georgia 3 years ago. In June, it'll be a full 3 years. And I wanted to let people know what I do. Who am I, right? People don't know who I am out here, except for that one lady who was chasing me down. But overall, people don't know who I am out here, right? So going to networking events, and not just being in, and I tell you no lie, I absolutely hate networking events now. But I know that it's a necessary evil, right? So I go to them and I have a focus while I'm there. I will wear my brand colors, right? My brand colors are red. That helps me to stand out. People are like, oh, I also noticed one time I had like on a blue dress and my blue earrings, and I had on a blue bracelet, and everybody just had to come over and comment at the fact that I was matching. And I was just like, oh, people don't match. Like, so think about what you could do to kind of stand out, and not be like amongst the folds. Also, one of the things that I also do with the networking, because I would get overwhelmed and I get all of these business cards, and I'm like, what do I do afterwards? I created a tool within my platform, and this is now something that we let other people use as well, that follows up with people so that they can set up time on a calendar to meet with you. So it has levels of personalization. So it was like, where did you meet? What's your name? What was the date or the type of what the event that we met at? And something that we talked about that was relative to our to either my business or to their business. And the automatic tools will do a series of emails and text messages to basically say, hey, we met at the Woo event, and I would love to follow up about our conversation about marketing or about what you do in your business. Can you set up some time to meet with me? And then it'll send them a couple of messages if they don't respond. So being able to do that, because I would get overwhelmed and I'm like, oh my gosh, I really wanted to speak to that person. And I'm like, but out of sight, out of mind. After I left that event, I'm like, okay, I'm on to the next thing. I need to, start working on this. I got a billion other meetings. And so that gives me the space. I take 5 minutes, I put their information inside of the platform, and it automatically reaches out to them until they set up time on my calendar. So just thinking about what can you do again, what can you put in place so that you are able to make your life a little bit easier and so that you're not stressing yourself. And then last, just talking about it, right? CRM tools, like the ARB platform that I just shared, to be able to track how people interact with your brand. How do you want people to receive you? How do you want them to engage with you? So I always say start small, show your face, share your story, be the brand that you want others to embody. Um, so we can go to the next slide, please. We don't have any comments or questions. Y'all quiet today, y'all. But that's okay. I hope y'all are getting some good content and y'all writing down some good notes. So some of the challenges that we go through when we are trying to be our best brand and we're trying to show up, and I'm like, yeah, I want to do lives every day. And I tried to do lives every day, and life was lifing. Like I had to go to the kids' school, I had to go to doctor's appointments. So I had said I would do a live every day at 10 o'clock, and at 10 o'clock hour just did not work. And I'm like, no other time. I feel like this, right? And maybe some of you may have experienced this too. It's like when you set your intentions for something, all of a sudden you notice like this, everything is focused on that particular thing. So I'm like, 10 o'clock is usually a really good time. I don't have anything going on. But because I put an intention in to do my lives at 10 o'clock, something popped up almost every day at 10 o'clock. So being being able to have that as a what's your focus of your attention. So biggest thing is lack of time. So where can you automate where possible? For me, it was about doing pre-recordings and being able to have it automatically posted. And then some people are like, oh my gosh, that's so inauthentic. And it's like, it is when you can do it live, do it live. But if you are in a space where you want to have this be something that you continue to do and something that you want to put in place so that people, you got to think about it. If you are, what's your favorite TV show? Like TGI Friday used to be my favorite show, right? Every Friday I banked on after school, coming home, getting my hero and sitting down and watching my four TV shows, my TGI Fridays, right? And there would be times I would come home and they were like, "Oh, today we're going to do a documentary." I'm like, "A documentary? Who told you to take my program on to put on a documentary?" Um, but people get into a space of habit. They have things that are happening at a particular time every day or every time frame or every week or every month, so that they were like, every third Monday, I know that this is what I'm going to engage in, every this, every that. So what are you putting in place so that you can have people rely on you, which is something that we want as a brand, right? People want, you want to be able to trust that every day at this particular time or every month or every week or every quarter, whatever it might be, that you're going to be consistent with it. So how can you stay true to your consistency by doing that? And that's where automation comes in. So again, having spaces where you can do both, right? Where you can show up in both spaces. Next is templates, creating a template for your communication to keep the conversation going. What is the outline? And we've talked about this when we talked about SOPs, your standard operation procedures. What are you putting in place so that somebody else can just jump in and they can take the roles as well? There was a time I'm trying to remember what happened, but I think I had gotten stuck and I wasn't going to be able to jump on. I do a lunch and learn every Thursday at 12 o'clock, and I was going to be able to jump on. And I was like, "Hey," to my husband, I was like, "Hey, babe, like, can you jump on and do the lunch and learn for me today?" And he was like, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I was like, just read the script. Just read the script. And he came in and he read the script. I was like, "You did a great job. Like, you did." He was like, I was just reading the script." I said, "Yeah, I saw." But it was done, and he got into a point where he started to get more comfortable because it was the script there, and he could veer off from the script because he knew that there was something for him to go back to. So just having templates and putting things in place so that you can help to scale yourself. And then lastly, focus on high impact moments, like what does onboarding look like? What is your welcome emails, or what are your thank you messages? We were just talking about that, right? How are we thanking people? How are we putting things in place so that people are being recognized? Are we sending a handwritten note? Are we doing a voice note? Are we giving them a big hug? Are we doing ending, showers, love showers? What are you doing to be able to focus people on what the level of impact that you want to have present? So I'm going to pause there. Any questions, comments, or thoughts on overcoming challenges?
Chris, yeah, you had your hand up and you took it down. And then there's also a question that Baba Kojo had from a previous slide. So what do you want to do first? Baba Kojo, you want to speak to Chris? How do you want to manage it?
Let's do Chris, and then we could do Baba Kojo.
All right, awesome. So Chris, we are ready to hear from you. Unmute yourself.
Yes, yes. Well, first I wanted to point out Zawadi. He's not wrong. He said young people don't even learn how to write in script anymore. Writing is a form of learning, so that is a big deal that we're not doing that anymore. Just needed to point that out. I also wanted to say that on Sunday I went to Bruce McIntyre's 4th annual Butterfly release, and they spoke about eclampsias and preeclampsias for birthing people, especially in the Black community. And it took me way back to my days in EMS. And every call that I ever had, whether it was preeclampsia, eclampsia, all clamsias, or anything birthing people related, by the time they got on my truck and off, no clamsias, no clamsias. It was over and over and over again, and we were always trying to figure it out, but I had to be there. Which brought me to what we were speaking our, and you don't have to believe me, you can ask Scenic here, they got it there. We're all still confused. But I wanted to bring the point to, I was gathering up what you were saying, what I have to offer to the birthing people. So, number one, in my birthing center, you cannot come in without a doula. because I feel like we have to bring more respect to the presence of doulas. You will be decalibrated at some point. Somebody needs to be there to make the healthier decisions. You know what I'm saying? And two, I want to offer that 1 week prior to your due date, you can come opt in to stay in the birthing center. And we have everything. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Don't worry about it. And you can leave at any time, so you're not even a prisoner. That's on you. You know what I'm saying? And, you know what I'm saying? And if there's an emergency, even if the emergency is 2 months before and is that serious, then you can opt in to stay there. That way, you don't have to overthink it in the middle of the night. What if? We're all there. It's around the clock. There's food, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and everything. And as we said, we have the newspaper there. They could choose to be columnists if they want also. And the Little League soccer team. Why? Because I actually have, realistically, I have the time. Not just now, but also as critical medics, we have 24 hours of the day. We can just go wherever we need to do, and we set up the places. So in our birthing center, that is definitely where I want to put everything. It's just when you just said who can take your place or do something that, I don't know, because when I'm there, all emergencies become no emergencies, regardless of what it is. So it's like, I don't know where to find that, because I have to physically be there, but I'm piecing it to, I'm piecing my whole plan over here. I'm here for my birthday center, and I'm complete.
I love it, Chris. Well, I do have a couple of questions for you with that. So you, first of all, I mean, if I wasn't, if I put out there that I'm not trying to have any more children, but I would love to be at this birthing center if I was in that space again. But because it seems so welcoming and yeah, like just being in a space of wanting to have people to total on you. So I'm thankful that you are in the space of creating that for others. I do, but this part is I want you to think about this. And I know that we never want to think of like end of life, right, for ourselves, but in the event that you are no longer here and able to be present physically, how does that then carry on? You're creating this amazing thing for that. Like I said, I'm not don't want to be in the pregnancy way, but I do want that to still continue for others, right? And so if you are not here, how do you continue that legacy of being able to pour into moms and have them have that experience? So thinking about what training might look like, how you might be able to there has to be some techniques that you can pass along, or having people even watch you or record you so that they can pick up things that you are doing so that they can also replicate it in different ways.
Yes, definitely. My little league soccer team. So they're between the age. I already have 5 people, by the way. Five. The state said I need 4 to 9. The team is complete. I have the shirts. So because of their ages, they're like second grade, third grade-ish. This is what I figured. Between soccer, it's not always about soccer. I'm also a medical professional. I teach microscopic science. I'm a luthier. I'm a carpenter. I'm a chef. I do a lot of things. So all these things I'm going to ingrain in them. And in the birthing center, not only will they see how it operates, but they're going to see where I'm making it happen. So whatever I'm not seeing, that's going to be ingrained in them. That way, even when there's no soccer throughout the whole year, there's a lot of more things. That's just the beginning. But there's things throughout the seasons that realistically, it's all the way from here to college. They're gonna this is all we're going to do throughout the whole year. Because brother people also need people who out there who can take them out and do stuff. So by the time they go to college, they'll know what to come back for. And the birthing center, there's already somebody out here that's trying to give a boat. So I'm trying to get on this boat and see what's really with this boat, and they could learn and see, learn about this stuff, and that could be another thing. The sailing community, they're learning pretty much everything that we're learning, and they get to choose what they want to go to college for and what they want to bring back. And the parents now, they'll also be there, but when they have children themselves, that's all they'll basically know is how to operate from this birthing center, which should be self-sufficient. I think you said that in the last week. So that was my goal. How do I make it self-sufficient? That's all they'll know. So throughout the time, as they grow, that's all they'll keep teaching. So we really, and finally, there'll be more people to come play soccer with me because everything will be taken care of. I won't be alone out there. And I'm complete.
I love it, Chris. Creating the cycle of life. I love that. So thank you for sharing. And I look forward to seeing it, to continue to hear the story. I feel like every week it continues to evolve into more greatness. So continue to keep being a blessing to others. And especially, I'm glad for you with the soccer team. Congratulations. Yay.
Yeah. So
Awesome.
Baba Kojo's question was about LinkedIn. He asked, is it recommended to do a paid account on LinkedIn to boost his profile?
So here's the thing about LinkedIn. So when you go into LinkedIn, it needs to be something that you are going to be intentional on. So if you are going to spend money, I say take that time to like focus on it for a month, so that you are utilizing it. Because when people pay for services, especially with LinkedIn, they're not using it at the capacity. It is not just about the being able to boost on LinkedIn. It is also about being able to connect. So when you have a paid account, you have more connections that you're able to make on LinkedIn. There are also groups that you can be a part of where you can share your content or share content about what you do and to build relationships, right? This it's another networking space, and we have to use it as that. And the issue is when we do the paid profiles and we do the boost and stuff like that, it's like I'm standing outside on the corner and I have a sign, and every time you walk outside your house, I'm just throwing a sign in front of you. And it's like, okay, but this sign doesn't have anything to do with me. Like I really don't, this is not, it's not relevant to me. And that's not what you want to have happen. You want it to, it's similar to Instagram and Facebook, really honing in on who your target market, I call it your avatar, who your avatar is, so that you are going in that space and you know who you're looking to attract. So if you are going in that space and you're looking to attract corporate individuals or HR individuals or whatever it is, just knowing what that lane is, and making sure that they're present there. Because if you are looking for just like say school teachers might necessarily not necessarily be in LinkedIn. Like that's not their forte. They more likely will be on Instagram, because they are individuals who like artsy things. They like to show off their crafts and things of that nature. Am I saying that there are no teachers on LinkedIn? No. But am I saying that that is not their focus space? Yes. That may not be the space where all of them kind of thrive. And so again, just thinking about what it is that you are looking to get out of your relationship with LinkedIn before you go into making it a paid opportunity. So I hope that answers your question. Any other shares, questions, comments, or thoughts?
Cheryl had to sign off. That is it
Oh,
now, sis.
okay.
And Kojo said thank you. Yes, thank you.
Awesome, awesome,
All right.
awesome. All right, well, let's bring it home.
All righty. Hold on one section. Section. Session.
Session.
Second. Stop it. All right. Oh, is this the right slide?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
All
So
right.
what does personalization in action look like? So we talked about handwriting, thank you notes. So a small business owner builds loyalty by sending handwritten thank you notes to their top clients. This simple act leads to referrals and repeat businesses. So we talked about that throughout this entire time. This is definitely something that we all shared or encouraged. And I would add, given what Shawnee shared as well about being able to do voice notes, but find ways to make it personable. How are you helping? How are you making your customers feel seen? How are you making them feel heard? How are you making them feel loved in the space so that they can be consistent, so that they can be a repeat customer, so that they can offer referrals to you. Next slide, please. So, in closing, Personalization is about showing your audience that you see them, that you value them, and that you understand them. You understand what they're going through, you understand what their needs are. And again, like you're thinking ahead for them. So I always share start small, celebrate those small wins as you are accomplishing them, stay consistent. So if you know that you can't do every day, then do it weekly or do it monthly. But whatever it is, be consistent in it so that people know, like I said, and like I used to be with my TGI Fridays, that they know that they can count on you on this particular day, that you are always going to show up and be there for that particular thing, right? And watch your brand grow. Because as you continue to engage in different ways and get feedback, you will make changes that are going to be an additional small change or additional small win that you can celebrate and that you can move forward in seeing your brand going. And like I said, share it, share all of it, put it on social media so that you can also, that year review at the end of the year when you go back, you're like, oh, I did that. Oh, and I did that. Oh my gosh, I forgot I did that. Those things, those pleasant surprises, people are also seeing that as well, your year in review, and can celebrate that success with you as well. Next slide, please. So, a takeaway, what is one takeaway you'll apply to your business today? If you want to drop it in the chat, if anyone wants to come off, I know we have a couple of minutes before the hour, but I definitely would love to hear some takeaways and how you are going to show up for yourself in creating something different for your brand.
All right, somebody out there has something that they got from this experience. Asia, Cassandra, Kaisha, Marilyn, Queen A. Who wants to share?
Okay, I'll say something real quick. It was regarding the personalization, the cards, because just what I experienced was I received. Remember, I was telling you about the realtors. They do send cards and put a paper business card or um, collage their family photos collage. So you can put that on your refrigerator and and go. And what I said earlier about you Athenia and cards, when you said you get to it, the card is literally in your hand. You can't just put your finger through and open it. It doesn't take, so that's what I thought was funny. When you say, well, I get a card and I'll get to it. It's literally in your hand that you can just open it real quick. Okay, I'm complete. But yes, that's what I like. It's about the handwritten and dropping a paper business card, and inside of it, because for people who have collages on their refrigerator like I do. All right, thank you.
All righty, Zawadi had her hand up. Go ahead, Zawadi.
First of all, this has been really great. Gotten several things, but the most thing that one thing I definitely have is I'm going to create a form letter to say thank you to our guests because we thank them profusely, but I realize for me there's no closure, and so sending them a thank you note will be the closure.
Awesome. All
I
right.
like that. Yeah, thank you, Zawadi. Yeah, and Kaisha for sharing. Both are that like you said, that closure, and being able to just think the presence of individuals. And I think like we've talked about today, the culture of that is not present, is not showing up. And so we have to do our due diligence and be able to pass it down. And like I said, giving feedback in a moment to individuals who are not present to it, of what and how they could do it better so that there is a feedback loop or a thank you of reciprocity. And I'm complete. So thank you everyone for sharing. And thanks for joining.
Yes. All righty. Beautiful. So you have a special offer. Can you share more about that?
Sure, I do. So, as I have shared, one of the biggest ways to be able to multiply yourself and to make yourself your business expand beyond just yourself is one, figuring out ways so that you can have processes in place. And once you have a process in place, taking it from there and creating some automation so that there are things, there are ways that people are being responded to. There are ways that people are getting the information that they need. And you are able to be present and have more time for yourself because I shared earlier, I need that moment to be able to just step away and take that 5 minutes for myself. And we all do. We all need that time to not just be on go all the time. And so this is a tool that you can use. It's a platform that has opportunities for you to do email marketing, text message marketing, social media marketing, and also it replaces your Calendly. Like it can do so many different things. All of the different platforms that a lot of us pay hundreds of, probably sometimes thousands per month. It will have all of it in one space. And this was something that I created because I deal with it in Juneteenth, right? People, especially at this time, when we're less than 30 days away, and people want to reach out to you. I have to protect my time. Who am I going to be meeting with? Who am I allowing to have time with me? Those are all things that you can work out in the system. And how do people still get the information that they need when you are not available? And this is a great way to be able to do that. So we're offering 30 days free trial for you to be able to use, learn the platform. There are a series of videos to help you learn how to use it. And there are over 1,000 templates in there for different types of business types. And all you got to do is put your business information in. And again, I always encourage people to use ChatGPT to be able to do so in the event that you don't have the words or don't know how to express yourself the way you would like to. But this is a great tool to be able to help you move along your process of where you are in your business and help you to expand a little bit more.
And staying in touch and contact.
Awesome. Yes. So this is my number, 646-522-9869. Use it sparingly. But text message is the best way to get in contact with me. I am always in meetings most time, like I am today, but I will always get back to you within 24 hours if you do text me. You also have my email address there, the info@arbusinessexpansion.com, and go to the website, arbusinessexpansion.com, and see a little bit more about the services that we offer. We do help with the automation. So even if you're like, oh my gosh, this is great, but I don't have the capacity to be able to do it myself, we have done for you options as well, where my team will build out your social media and build out your newsletters and build out your email sequences and your text messages, all of those things, because we live in it. That's what we are constantly doing. So being well versed and being able to help others to do the same. And I think that's it. Next
Thank
slide.
you.
Yeah.
All righty, family. For the 17 folk who are still in the space, thank you for being here. We just want to acknowledge that part, now 16, that part of our journey is to remind each and every one of us that giving is a powerful conduit for receiving. And just want to share that in this space, love offerings are invited in, they're requested. It's never a demand. We're just a stand for there to be an exchange of resources that keeps this space going and flowing. What Athenia provided today and so many other facilitators are coaching, support services, guidance, information, teaching, like all the layers, healing that folks pay for, real dollars and cents, in their lives. And so we're grateful that we're able to provide these complimentary services to folks, this complimentary information for you to add to your life and grow and expand and ascend. So we invite you to give to this space, especially if you've never done it before, and no amount is too little. We invite you to just activate the spirit and the energy of giving. You can give through Zelle or Quick Pay via soulleadershipdevelopment@gmail.com, or you can give through Cash App at $Spirit of a Woman. The links will be dropped in the chat. And then there's a code that you can acknowledge that Athenia session inspired you to give. So hashtag 1373AR. And there's a way to give monthly. And some folks are doing this already. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your generosity. And we invite folks to consider doing this so that you who are a recipient of this awesome space all year round can give monthly. A gift of love to the Wake Up space. And once again, what we utilize the resources for are to maintain the infrastructure of the space. So monthly automated love offerings are welcome, and we will drop in the chat the links that you can utilize to give monthly. And who is up next? Our amazing sisters. So we have Alicia Holmes, who is going to be talking about tomorrow, a 30-minute session, The Courage to Move, positioning yourself for what's next. You don't want to miss it. And then Martine Lissa Malivers is going to be sharing on Thursday, a 90-minute session, Have You Talked to Your Child About Being Touched Today, Part 3. And we just want to thank those who are here for the first time or who have been here for a short period of time. I'm saying, we're in May now. If you've joined this year, thank you for being here. And we are committed to learning, elevating, and ascending. And we are grateful that you're here to do that with us and co-create that energy. And we invite you to come back in. And our schedule is Sunday through Thursday. Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday, we have 90-minute sessions. So today was a 90-minute session. Thank you for spending your 90 minutes with us. And Monday and Wednesday, we have a 30-minute session. And each of the sessions start, or all of them start at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And depending on whether it's a 90 or 30 will determine when it ends. And then you can add these things, these tools to your lives. And if you want to be reminded, we have an automated texting structure. You've probably received text messages reminding you to come into the space, or direct one from me or one of the other members of the team. You can use 74121 to send a text to us so that we can add you to the automated system, but you would have to put in Woo Nation as your text message, all caps, and then it will add you. And if you want to end it, just send the word stop in all caps to the same number, 74121, and it will stop the messages from coming through in the morning. And we want to thank you for being here, encourage you to stay in touch. I'm encouraging you to stay on so we can do the love shower and thank Athenia in the way that we think and have closure in this space, like we were talking about. So this is our ritual, and this is our way of getting things complete for the session. But all of these announcements, these links on this slide are a way for you to stay connected. You can follow us on Facebook. You can register and receive e-blasts on a weekly basis with what's coming up next. You can subscribe to our YouTube page, or you can email us with information, messages, feedback, testimony at info.wakeupseries@gmail.com. So I thank you ahead of time for anything that you will share in any of these spaces and you joining. So I'm going to put this in gallery view so we can take this screen share down. Please stay once again so we can thank Athenia. So unmute yourselves if you would, so we can hear your voices, and she can too. So Athenia, thank you for all that you have provided in this space today. I'm wondering where the rest of the voices are. Where y'all at?
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Love you, love it.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Being in the space, our generosity.
Ashe,
Good news to share with you. We'll talk offline. Love you, love you, love you.
Thank you.
Athenia.
Development for all of us. Ooh, I made
Thank you.
yourself. We love you. We appreciate
Ashe,
you.
ashe.
Thank you for the covering and the education and the way for us to grow as a community especially during these times. So y'all have a great rest of the day, family. We'll see you soon.